Our day 9 takes us from the Tullah Lakeside Lodge to the tall timbers at Smithton.
What was your favourite dirt road?
I'd have to go the Western Explorer.
Western Explorer, yeah. It was good.
Because you've got the water crossing at the start, and then you've got a mixture of like sandy roads, a bit sandy.
Yeah.
You can there's lots of little lookouts along the way you can pull up.
Is that Western Explorer?
Yeah.
You like that one?
I like the scenery, roads, the undulations.
Yeah.
Spectacular, yeah.
So we're just leaving the Tullah Lakeside Lodge. Great meals, a bit slower service, but great breakfast again. Real slow this morning. So we're half an hour later than scheduled. We're allowed an hour for breakfast. We needed an hour and a half. Okay, left. I'm heading up to Pieman Road. I'm just turning here on Pieman Road. It's only 4k or so from Tullah. How many places can you go to when you just wake up, start riding, and you're in the middle of some of the best twisties around? Pieman Road is yet another top Tasmanian twisty road. This one's keeping on turning. Yeah, the fires have been through here probably, maybe recently, maybe the recent fires they've had. The surface is great and there's no shortage of sweepers to enjoy. This road's got a real lot going for it. It's got different scenery, there's tighter sections, plenty of sweepers, come out and drop back round again. Another fire ravaged area on Pieman Road. We're using footage from my GoPro 13, Tony's Insta360, and thanks to Renee again for footage from her GoPro. Riding across the dam wall. Where you can pull in and David can take a photo. Dam's very still. Nearly time to take the puffer jacket off. Different with the fire going through. Yeah. It's the gravel section. The sealed only went for 2k, if that. Potholes. It's not dusty at all, that's the good thing. No dust whatsoever. Potholes, stacks of potholes. Back to a sealed section for about the last 5 kilometres. Still no cars or vans or anything that's come the other way. So I guess that makes sense in a way, because that would have meant someone possibly had to leave very early to get this far, because they would have come from the western, unless they camped on the other side somewhere. Just coming down the last section. Arriving at about 9:40 a.m, we weren't expecting any queue at all. The Pieman Ferry is known as the Pieman Barge, which allows vehicles to travel from north or south across the Pieman River here at Corinna. It is the only cable-driven vehicular barge remaining in Tasmania. The barge operates 7 days a week between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. in the summer, which is daylight savings time, and 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. in the non-daylight savings time. There's no need to book. Reflection on the water is amazing, like in every angle. It's so still. The 130 metre wide and 20 metre deep Pieman River is at the heart of Corinna, and on a motorcycle it's half the price of a car, $15, and either way you pay at the Tarkine Hotel bar. The Tarkine Hotel is a focal point of the Corinna community, and it houses the wonderful Tannin restaurant, named after the tannin-stained waters of the Pieman River and its tributaries. An historic mining town turned wilderness retreat, sitting on the southern end of the Tarkine, the largest temperate rainforest in Australia. Okay, so we've just left Corinna, and it's a couple of kilometres to the left. We go on the Western Explorer. If you go straight ahead, this road, I think it might even still be called Pieman Road, takes you to Savage River. It continues with this base, so the road's the same quality, etc., until you get to Savage River, and you're on the Great Bitumen to Waratah on Waratah Road. That's good, this van's just stopped. The BMW Safari's over here in a couple of weeks, a week or so after we return. Well, that'd be interesting if they're going to do this road and do the barge, then that'll take all day. So we're just about to turn on what they refer to as the Western Explorer, Norfolk Road. And the interesting thing is, we were talking to a couple of chaps maybe yesterday who said they're working on a project here on Norfolk Road where there's been some Indigenous funding for bridges, and they're putting in more bridges. I don't know where they'd actually be referring to for that. So we haven't done this ride in this direction before. And when we get to the end of this road, we're going to do the Tarkine Drive, and that'll be in anti-clockwise as well, a direction we haven't done either. It's always been done in clockwise. By our Tasmanian experiences, I'd probably consider this a busy road. A lot of vans do it, bikes, a few cars, one lane bridge. Now this might be one of the bridges in their bridge program that the guy was talking about. Well, they're working so that those guys are part of it. It's really nice through here, but isn't it? Like it's a nice ride.
Western Explorer's a good one. Yeah. I've done it in the wet, I've done it in the dry.
Oh, you've done it in the wet.
And the grip in the wet is really good, surprising.
Right. Yeah.
It gives the feel that it's going to be sandy, but it's not.
Yeah.
And the views are always inspiring out there.
So that's a pretty good tip for other bike riders coming to Tassie. So if it is raining, it's still okay.
Yeah, it's still
be okay.
doable. Yeah, it's not slippery. It's not going to be. Yeah.
That's very
It's
interesting.
not going to be boggy.
So even the Western Explorer, it was dry, a little bit skatey, but still enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the scenery there is never changed.
This section up the hill, it's really steep, flattened out a bit here. It's a bit windier here, and you can see where they've sealed another section up on a hill across the mountain. Stephen going up there now, corrugated heading down. He's doing a photo, I think. Oh, well, the fires come through here as well. It's pretty steep. Well, it didn't look like this last time, so that's something, well, a negative bonus. Tony's built up a lot of fitness on this trip. She's got over a broken rib pretty well. The rib cage is still giving her a bit of pain. So riding, to concentrate on other stuff. But yeah, there was quite a lot of very washed out parts of the road back there, coming up and around that last couple of hill climbs. This one looks steep. Out in the middle of nowhere. The guys who were doing those bridge, I don't know, replacement program, call this the road to nowhere. They don't call it Norfolk Road. They refer to it as the road to nowhere.
Well, it is not a road to nowhere. It's a major link road. Oh, they're both up. No, or is that Brian?
Brian did his usual, found a big mound he could climb and goes for a walk to the top to take some footage of the bikes riding by.
The mountain range. Always got a great backdrop, this road, this part here in particular. Yeah, Brian said he's just going to cruise along and stop for photos, and that was a legend photo he just stopped for there. He loves climbing up hills and going up the mountains. He's done some good walks on this trip. Now that will take a long time. We stopped and talked to a guy in a car, guy and a lady, when we stopped to get changed, and they said they hadn't seen anybody for, I think they said 1.5 hours or something like that. And then they said, we've seen a group of bikes, which is obviously the group in front of us. Tasmania's got the Flinders Ranges view everywhere. Maybe they should advertise as a similar product. You can see the road right ahead. That's one of the features of this riding here, how you can look way up in front of you and see where you're going to be. Not sure how well the GoPro would pick it up. Bit chopped up around there. Rutted, corrugated inside there. You remember this bit? I like these sections. The wind's blown up a lot. The guy back at Tullah said it was really windy on the western side. Just a small sealed bit again. Look at the road. I feel as if we're getting closer to the end because it's wider and straighter. But it does feel more like we're at the other end, where it's nowhere near as tight. There's a road up here to the right. I think it's the road Tony rode down last time. And she got into some deep sand and turned around. It's a historic something or other, historic town or... So this tip might be a bit late because the video won't be out for a little while, but if you're on this road, don't go in the middle, because the middle's where all the potholes are. Both left and right edges seem to be fine. Just coming to the end of the road and onto the Tarkine Drive. This section of Tarkine Drive is called Blackwater Road.
How you going, Dave?
Yeah, very good.
Tony?
Very good.
Mr. Chang?
Oh, wind.
Fart.
Oh, this is it does, doesn't it?
No, it just makes you want to stay.
I've got a nomination.
For what? Yeah,
We're
come on.
riding along, haven't seen anyone for ages, and we had a view where you could see for everywhere. So we pulled over, Tony did a road, and just over the hill came this van. We're in, and the guy pulls up, and I said, "Are you recording?" He said, "No, we're not." And he said, "You know, I think he said, I haven't seen anyone for 90 minutes and I saw these bikes and now you."
Me? Hanging on the side of the road.
What about the dude on the push bike?
Yeah.
What a crazy person.
The next bit is the Tarkine Drive in an anti-clockwise direction.
Dry riverbed. Okay, so we're on our twists around. First time we've done the Tarkine Drive in this direction, stopping soon at the Sumac Lookout. I don't think there's a toilet at the Sumac Lookout. These are supposed to be sound barriers for animals to hear vehicles coming. This is another great road to ride as well. So one car that joined the road at the T intersection before us, and he pulled over for us, which was really good of him. Another beehive area. So one of the things about this particular road is the name changes as you move along it. More bees.
The Tarkine Drive is peaceful riding, mostly good surface, and plenty of undulating twisties. We stop at the Sumac Lookout, have a chat with some other riders, and give Brian a chance to catch up. The Sumac Lookout towers over the Arthur River and eucalyptic forests full of ancient trees which dominate the landscape, while huge blackwoods line its banks.
Still on Sumac Road. So the Tarkine Drive is now called Rapid River Road. Just got a drop of rain on my visor. We're going through an area called Rapid River. The road's going to wind down to it. That side's stagnant, and so is that side stagnant. The Tarkine Drive could easily be rated as one of the great rides of Tasmania. A lot of people don't even come over and do it, but its problem is it's signposted 50 and 70 kilometres an hour. 50 in the middle and 70 on each bits. Yeah, it's flowing. Twisty Bridge, or Twisty Bridge. Yep. Turning here at Reynolds Road to go to Trowutta Arch onto this dirt road. Brian behind me. Gonna turn, yep. We came out here on our last trip. Gun Road, and 2 kilometres and you're there. Straight down the end here and park on the right. Yep.
Trowutta Arch Forest Walk.
This short walk features an easy stroll through the lush foliage and amazing fungi and fern-filled forest. The spectacular side of the arch was formed by the collapse of an ancient limestone cave which left behind the archway and a sinkhole on either side, one dry and the other filled with water. The sinkhole with water is over 20 metres deep and is a habitat for invertebrates.
Oh, that looks like it's going to fall. Hopefully not while I'm here.
I suppose this is still the Tarkine Drive. Yeah, it did have one section which is still potholey. Sections if you're going from this side, it's in the first, within the first 10k. After that it's all good. There's that cut across via Arthur River. Yeah, that's where the motor guzzi went.
Stephen, Brian, Jay and Sue completed the ride to Stanley and had a late seafood lunch. Having been there many times before, Tony, Renee, David and I went straight to the tall timbers to enjoy its opulence with a feed and a drink.
And we're turning into Tall Timbers, Smithton, Tasmania.
We're at Tall Timbers, our 2-bedroom apartment for the night. It's actually cheaper than Tullah. Bathroom. Nice big shower. Laundry. Second bedroom. And main bedroom.
Thanks for watching. There's a link to the GPX file in the description. We'd love you to subscribe, give it a like and leave us a comment.